Uncut Gems. This is A24's latest film, and I've been a fan of most of their stuff, for the most part. And, this is really being talked about for Adam Sandler's kind of, swaying away from normal Adam Sandler at this point in 2020. So, I'm an Adam Sandler fan, mostly, his 90s stuff. And, he actually really surprised me in this film with his acting chops. I thought he was really good in this.
Well, I honestly, I'm not surprised by his acting quality. I mean, Adam Sandler is honestly probably one of the most underrated actors out there. I mean, he's been in dramatic roles before and comedic dramatic roles. I mean, 50 First Dates and Click come to mind for dramedy roles, I guess. Dramatic roles, he's actually really good. If you haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, I believe it's No Rain with him and John Cheadle. They're both really good performances by him, though.
So, the way I always saw it is he made his money so he could just go and just fuck around on Netflix. But I'm glad he actually opened up a bit. And I hope that this is the Adam Sandler we can still continue to see here. Because he completely lost himself in this role.
Oh, yeah.
There's points where you forget you're watching an actor. And I think that needs to be recognized for everyone.
Yeah, it definitely does. His performance honestly carries the film. That's not a bad thing. Because there are certain films where that kind of, I guess, mentality, or how do I phrase it? I guess, you know what I'm trying to say?
No.
Oh, well, thank you so much, you dick.
I was zoning out and just letting you carry it.
I'm not Adam Sandler. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. That's apparent in my views for my solo video.
Oh. I'll do a solo video and see who gets more.
It's going to be you.
We don't know that.
We know that for sure.
We don't know that.
We know that for sure. Look at that face. Look at that face. Tell me that face isn't lovable right there.
It's marketable, not lovable. But,
fair enough.
For me, I went into this with a lot of expectations. I didn't know anything about it. And, a lot of people were saying it's an absolute thrill ride through the entire thing. It just causes constant anxiety. I felt the anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. We're so desensitized with film and just kind of life in general that it takes a lot for me to react to a film. When we've seen as many as we have, it's hard to just lose ourselves in it.
Well, I feel a little disappointed in that regard because, going into the film, we were reading all these different reviews and we were hearing all these different things from people who've seen the film. And it's it's the most anxiety, ridden film. It's going to cause all this anxiety. You're never going to be able to relax and stuff. And that's why people have kind of, been, either really liking it or really, disliking it because it just made them have that feeling. And I was kind of disappointed because I feel like we didn't, at least you just said you didn't. We didn't get that feeling kind of walking out. And I know that that's at least coming through apparent for some people because there's a group of people behind us. I don't know if you heard the girl behind us who was like, I didn't like that and stuff. I couldn't relax at all. And, so on.
That's why I'm not going to fault it for it because if you're a general audience member, you're going to have that experience.
Oh, for sure.
And, it was controlled chaos, which I really liked it. It was a mess, but it was, articulated mess. And I liked that. And, I thought the pacing was great. And that's kind of where a lot of the anxiety came from. Because at times you can't think about the pacing because so much is going on. But that's a good technique. It was all done on purpose.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar necessarily with the plot of the film, basically it follows Adam Sandler's character, who is this, I guess, a diamond salesman, jewelry salesman, something like that.
Yeah.
Who basically has gotten himself involved in these, I don't want to say high stakes gambling.
It's more he just loses himself in his confidence.
Well, they're definitely showcasing he's an addict. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you definitely feel that throughout the film. There are certain periods where there's real high periods, there's certain periods where there's real low periods. And it tends to fluctuate. And I really think that, the range you see with Sandler's performance, being able to kind of, go from one extreme to the next is really, really, it's really well done. But it's really apparent on the screen.
And you see his family can't really give him that euphoric high anymore.
Yeah.
He has to turn to this. Gambling, dealing. He's addicted to the thrill of it.
Exactly.
And he's very good at conveying that. Like, you see the highs, and then when he's at home, you can see he's just bored, and he has the lows. And that's kind of how I am with life. I just get bored with society and life. And a lot of the times it does affect you. So for him to be able to convey that, I give him huge credit.
Oh, yeah. I feel like just kind of, because I haven't really seen many people talk about it, can we talk about the fact that Kevin Garnett is in this movie and actually does a pretty good job? I mean, Kevin Garnett was a professional basketball player, and he actually does a pretty good performance for the most part, I feel like.
Yeah, see, I don't like sports, so that's more you.
Yeah, but, you can...
So I don't know who he is.
But you can they tell you who he is. But you can appreciate what he does, though. I mean, I think there are two real scenes or moments with him in the film that, it's kind of just like, did Kevin Garnett just see that? Like, it's actually I don't know, I feel like it's well felt, the presence of that.
I think all the acting.
Oh, yeah, it definitely
You feel like
is.
you're watching a situation.
I'd agree with that.
Like, it gets... You just feel like you've been thrown into this world, and you're watching the events unfolding, and it's just making you react. And film doesn't do that very often. That's what film should do. It should be able to kayfabe you, make you feel like you're in this world, you're one of these characters, and you should feel like you're in trouble too. Because there's at times in this film where you do have that anxiety, where you feel like your life is on the line as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the world building here is incredible.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just to talk about it, I feel like the soundtrack was really good for this. I feel like it blends really well. I really like what you said. It kind of feels like you're not watching a movie, you're watching a situation unfold. And normally, when you have a soundtrack in the back, it kind of, it's kind of there to remind you, hey, this is just a movie, it's fine. And with this, I feel like it kind of, accentuated the moment. Like, it just made you feel that much more.
You know why I love the soundtrack? Because if you remember back in school, they'd have you watch these mineral videos or these geography videos. And this was the kind of fucking music it would play in the background. And it was just genius. It felt like I was watching a VHS tape on one of those block TVs in, 5th grade.
Well,
and it had that music where you're just supposed to get lost in what you're seeing.
Think about the opening sequence.
I know.
That kind of just goes right along with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a rock nerd for some extent. I mean, I did Science Olympiad in high school, so I can fully confirm that is the music that you would hear during
exactly
Rocks and Minerals videos. That was my event.
Shout out to Earth Science.
Fuck yeah.
But this was just. I thought it was entertaining throughout.
Oh, it definitely
was. It was just thrilling, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen very often anymore. And we're going to get into spoiler territory here because I feel like I don't like non-spoiler reviews. I feel like to review a film, you have to get into the ending because I think the ending's the most important part of a film. What are your thoughts on this ending?
Well, before we get into our spoiler part, just for those of you who don't want to watch the next part of this, all I'll say about the ending before I get into that is that it's shocking to an extent. It's definitely a bit of a turn quickly, but it still leaves you wanting more. So that's kind of just that little quick tidbit there. Now we're going to get into the spoiler part. So if you haven't seen the film, if you don't want to watch the spoiler part of this, turn off now, come back after you watch it.
If you haven't seen the film, then fuck off. So the ending, the ending of the film, you have Adam Sandler's character basically winning, and he was right this whole time, which I kind of saw coming. I think it would be a little too cliche for him to just lose, and then obviously people freak out.
Well, I feel like you and I were we were talking about this in the car a little bit and stuff. We kind of were picturing all these different scenarios.
Yeah, that's
happening. And what you get is just I don't know. I feel like you could have done something better there. I mean, basically, what ends up happening is he wins. He finally wins. Because, again, this has been a movie of just highs and lows. And you get this, and he finally, after everything, because it's just one, big snowball, and it's just been going down the mountain, and finally it stops. And he starts to you think, like, oh, he's finally done this. And basically, do you want to say it?
He gets shot in the head.
Shot in the head.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him dying. I like that the last thing he had on this planet was himself winning. He was right. He fed his ego and he was right. And I think that's genius. But, you have the characters that shot him. They basically go rogue. They rob him and then they flee.
They also kill his their boss, who was, I guess, his brother-in-law. Was that what it was?
Something around there.
It's something like that.
I think it is.
I think it is his
It's
brother-in-law.
her side, yeah.
So, and that's what kind of happens there, and it's just shocking. I mean, it's expected I feel like it's definitely, you could see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely little hints there throughout the film.
I didn't think he would survive.
No.
I just didn't know how he wouldn't survive.
Exactly. Well, I mean, again, it leaves you wanting something more. It isn't, I think it was supposed to be, I don't know, I feel like they relied too much on shock value with the ending. And stuff, it's not much, as enough of an impact. You needed something more.
Yep. So, quick flaws, I don't have many. I think my biggest one is I would have focused more on his family life. Maybe a little bit more. And I felt, like I said, the ending kind of left me not disappointed, but just kind of like, okay, that's the ending.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think my biggest problem with the film was its ending. I also agree that they didn't necessarily focus on the family life. I feel like we needed one other scene, though, with his mistress, just to kind of give her a little bit more. Just because, I mean, she obviously plays a big role in the ending of the film. And I feel like we needed just a little bit more of information just to kind of get who she is and kind of, interpret where she's actually going. Because she makes clearly a big decision at the end, and it can mean a variety of different things, and that's not a bad thing.
And they kind of left her ending a little ambiguous.
They did.
Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I just feel like you needed something a little bit more.
So, rating. You can go first.
I'm giving it a 4.8. Again, I don't think this is a hugely flawed film. I do think that, there are certain things that, definitely bring it down, but it's got a lot of really good things. It's kind of a refreshing way to end the year. Yeah, I think 4.8 is pretty fair.
I'd go 4.75. And these are out of 5, not 10. We enjoyed the film. But
So that was fucking terrible.
yeah, I mean, it's one of the better films of the year, for sure. And, we're pretty much in agreement rating-wise. But definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I think the highest high was Adam Sandler here. He
For sure.
gave an amazing performance. And hopefully he does more things like this. So we hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let us know your thoughts and comments down below.
And let us know which one of us is prettier.
Oh, we already know the answer to that.
I know, clearly me.